named Pyrrhus of Epirus. He decides to take advantage of this opportunity to go conquer Italy, okay? So he and his hoplites sail over to Greece, and they are destroying the Romans. Battle after battle, Pyrrhus is defeating the Romans. And then finally says, you know what? If I win one more battle, I'm
Los
going no more soldiers.
americanos nunca obtendrán mis
Between
secretos.
Greek fighting versus Roman fighting. Greek fighting uses specialized forces that can win over time, whereas the Romans can just keep on replenishing their forces. Okay, so the Romans don't have to win that many battles, but they win most of their wars. Okay, now as the Romans are expanding, they eventually reach the Mediterranean, and so now they start developing a navy in order to trade with other nations like Egypt and Greece. This comes in conflict with the Carthaginians, and at the time, the main power in the Mediterranean are the Carthaginians. Now, and they will fight a war that lasts decades.
No, vaquero.
And the main reason why that
Vaquero,
Rome
cabrón.
triumphs, and this is
Una
important to
máquina,
understand,
puro
is
orto.
the main difference between Carthage and Rome is Carthage is rich, Rome is poor. Okay? Why? What does this matter? Because if you're rich, what you can do is hire mercenaries to fight the war for you, and that's what Carthage does. But Rome is poor, therefore they must use their own citizens to fight the war. Then, so over time, the citizens become much tougher, much more unified. Whereas the Carthaginians, they become more corrupt, they become much more decadent. And because the Romans are more invested in the war, they will fight to the end, whereas the Carthaginians are business people, they're traders, okay? They're very known for their sharp business skills. And so they do a cost-benefit analysis and be like, you know what, this war is going to cost us more than if we just surrender, okay? So the Carthaginians surrender the First Punic War, they surrender the Second Punic War, the Third Punic War, guess what happened? They're going to be wiped out by the Romans, okay? So that's what the Roman mentality is. We fight you, we'll fight you to the death. And if we beat you, we will kill every one of you. Okay? That's just the Roman war mentality, and that's why they ultimately triumph in the end. Okay, so this is another map that shows you the conflict between the Carthaginians and the Romans. This is the Second Punic War, okay? So Carthage over here, it's expanded to Spain, and there are lots of silver mines in Spain. Rome right now is still pretty small, okay? But again, because the Romans are dedicated towards war, that doesn't mean no, that doesn't mean they're good at, okay? They will eventually triumph over the Carthaginians. We actually don't know that much about the history of Rome, okay? But the most famous episode during the Second Punic War is when a Carthaginian general named Hannibal Barca, okay, he's in Spain, and he decides he's going to go destroy Rome. What he does is by crossing the Alps, because when you get up on the thing, and for the longest time, the Romans thought that this was in Siberia. And what Hannibal Barca will do is to cross the Alps with war elephants and his army, land in Italy, and start attacking Rome. And in three decisive battles, Hannibal will destroy the entire Roman army. Okay? He will wipe out the entire Roman army. Now, at this point in history, Rome needs to surrender. Okay, so Hannibal sends an envoy to the Senate and tells them, I've destroyed every single one of your soldiers, you have no more army. Therefore, I am willing to pass peace terms. And the Senate is like, screw you, come get us. Okay? And this marks a turning point in Roman history. So let's look over some of the major events. This is Hannibal crossing the Alps, okay? The most famous military feats in human history. This is the Battle of Sicily, one of the first major battles, where even though Hannibal
¿Dónde
is
está? Ese asqueroso,
under
apestoso,
now
inmundo alemán.
enemy
Estaba aquí.
territory,
Ahora
what
se
he will
fue.
do is he will use a
Pagará
series
por
of
lo que hizo.
swift
Ya
mountain
lo.
maneuvers to ambush his enemies. Okay, so these are the Romans. As you can see, what's going to happen is the Carthaginians, their horsemen, rise in the marsh, and then they will sneak up and destroy the Romans from the rear. Okay, that's the first major battle. This is the Battle of Lake Trasimene, and the same thing basically happens where the Romans are crossing the Hannibal ambushes them from the hills. Okay, the second major battle, and this is the most famous battle. This is a battle called the Battle of Cannae. Okay, and this is what is called a double enrollment strategy, where what will happen is that the two armies meet, and then Hannibal will send his cavalry on the wings, and then they will envelop the Roman army, and then they will slaughter everyone. Okay, so the Romans lose between 50,000 to 100,000 men. Their entire army gets wiped out because of this battle. Okay, so this is the first phase. Second phase is when the cavalry starts to
Vaya, Tensi, creo que puedo ver tu casa desde aquí. Está en llamas.
The soldiers coming from behind and trap the Romans and kill everyone. Okay, so this is the most famous battle in military history. Now there's a problem with this battle, which is that has never happened before in human history. Remember before we discussed the idea that in China, one of the common military strategies is behind the river strategy, okay? So you force your men to go to the river, and then the enemy is approaching them. There's no choice but to fight to the end, because otherwise they're blocked, okay? In this situation, it's very similar. Remember, this similar situation where things are like enemies on all sides, right? So at this time, what we want to happen, theoretically, is to become other and the entire Roman army goes and fights the Thessalonians in the future Thessalonians. So this is a
Váyanse todos.
the entire army, the entire time, is surrounded and slaughtered. And remember, this is very strange. In fact,
Oh, no, necesito munición.
which battles have used double weapon strategy? Basically, you start to okay, we have that. But the next one is 1940. 1940 in World War II. Now, the difference, of course, is that by the time you get to 1940, you have the steam up, your tank. So you send an army, you can see
Voy a buscar munición.
in fact, the first terminal that we have is about a marathon. But even the cemetery is, yeah, okay, so even the terminal is really running up. The battle marathon was actually double number strategy. It makes no sense. This battle strategy makes no sense from a military perspective. Also, we can't find a damn place. You would think this is a huge battle. 50,000, 100,000 Romans are dead. There'd be a lot of bodies. We can't find a damn place. Okay? Look, there's no archaeological evidence to prove the battle took place. We don't have any evidence. That's kind of strange. Okay? Yeah, but maybe it's because of the weather, or, we don't know, okay? All right, guys. So, what's going on here? Okay, so on YouTube, someone asked me, how do we know what history is true or not? Okay? Now, you would think the answer is, you just ask historians whether it's true or not. You know the answer. The problem is that every historian that you talk to tells you the Battle of Canal must be a historical fact. It must be, even though we don't have any evidence for it. So given that, how can we understand or figure out if it's true or not? Well, in this class, what I teach you is a universal framework to understand history, okay? So it's a critique of history. We ask ourselves, does the Battle of Canal fit into a larger historical pattern? Okay? Second question we ask is, does it make sense according to game theory? And the third question is, does religion explain the battle? Okay? And when we do this, when we use this framework to understand the Battle Canal, our conclusion must be it didn't happen. It's completely made up. Okay? The Battle Canal did not happen. So why? Well, first of all, when we have these great military generals like Hannibal Barca, they tend to become a king. Okay? So think of Napoleon, or think of Julius Caesar. Hannibal Barca is the first general that we have that conquered all of Rome and decided, I'm going to sit back and retire for the next 50 years. Okay? Never happened before. Why didn't he go back to Carthage and claim the kingship, right? Okay, that's the first problem. Second problem is game theory. Okay? So if you read Roman history, what they will tell you is that Hannibal, after that canal, he was stuck in Italy without resources. Then the question is, when you go to Carthage, conquer the place, and demand the resources he needs to win against Rome, why is he sitting back? Okay? Also remember, this is a guy who crossed the Alps on his own initiative. The Carthaginians told him, don't start a war with Rome, Hannibal, and Hannibal was like, nah, I'm going to go across the Alps. Thank you very much, okay? So this makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And then from a religious perspective, how do you explain why Hannibal did what he did? Like, the religious source will tell you, oh, it's because his father lost against Rome. He wanted revenge on behalf of his father. That makes no sense, guys, okay? Usually when a Napoleon emerges, it's because he thinks he's a son of God. They think of Napoleon, they got Alexander the Great, you know, Julius Caesar, okay? They all have messianic calling, a divine mission, right? So from this, only conclusion can be, first of all, that did not happen. There's no way it could have happened. The second thing is,
Oh, vaya,
you can
Tensi,
also
creo que
say
puedo
that,
ver
you
tu
know,
casa desde
about
aquí.
that,
Está en
you know,
llamas.
a person, right? But then this leads us to a really huge problem, which is, why would the Romans just make this stuff up? Why? Why would they say, we fought this battle, and 100,000 of our men got killed by this Carthaginian general Hannibal, who's smart enough, okay? Well, the reason why is that Carthage, okay? That Carthage is at this time in history, about 20 BCE, the most beautiful, the most prosperous, the most focused city in the world. What did Romans do? They burned it to the ground, killed everyone. Okay? That's the Roman way. Now, this is a siege of Carthage that lasted many, many years in a 13th war. The Romans, if they didn't like you, they would come and kill every one of you. Okay? That's what they did in Carthage. Now, during this war, a Greek named Polybius, okay? Polybius was a hostage of Rome, and he became an official historian of Roman Empire. So this is a guy who invented the Battle of Cannae. Why? To justify the burning of Carthage, right? Because the Romans are like, why did we kill the Carthaginians? Man, okay? But Polybius is Greek, and he understands that, you know, if Rome is an empire, you need people on your side. You can't go around explaining people. You need to explain your actions. So in other words, Polybius, in order to justify the Roman Empire, create this entire history of Second Punic War that didn't really happen. Okay? Because now it's like, okay, well, the Romans felt threatened by Hannibal, right? Hannibal was going to destroy them. And so they always saw Carthage as a threat.
Los americanos nunca obtendrán mis secretos.
So Polybius basically made the entire history of Rome. The thing to remember about history is that if you're in military power, you don't like history. Why? Because you're not capable of reflection. You're not capable of historical production. Okay? So the Romans won all these battles, and that the Greeks went the history for them to justify why they did what they did. Okay? Does that make sense, guys? So again, I can say this, but basically, all of history is complete nonsense. Alright? If you read all history, just don't read anything you read. Okay? Alright, so, this is really interesting because after the war against Carthage, after Rome destroyed Carthage, Rome was the undisputed leader of the Mediterranean. It's an empire now, but it's still got plenty of war for the Mediterranean region. Why? Because it has no poison matter. Look at the entire Roman war machine, okay? So, because Rome just
Esto,
place, they didn't want to get robbed by talking other people. Okay, so the nobility wants to fight these wars overseas so that they can get the slaves. Now, so that they can get the slaves, then to work their slaves, okay? So this is history, slaves are the main issue. That's what I'm Now, to fight these wars, peasants are consistent into the military, but once they leave the land, they need to feed the families, right? So they're
¡Qué
leave the
bien!
whole
¡Hora de
family
recreo para el
with the land
doctor!
flatter. Okay? But over time, what happens is they come to the isolation, right? They go along with the landowners, nobility, keep the land. One of the things they do the slavery of the conquest becomes worship land. Right? Now, they kind of have no choice but to go to Rome to look for work because they lost their land. And the Roman state gives them food. It's called a grain dole, okay? And so now the nobility wants to fight more wars. What they do is they drive the peasants to go for more wars and then the person can go and maybe win some booty, okay, because they have no land. And so what is happening is that what the war machine is doing is creating slavery, debt, corruption, and inequality. Okay? And over time, what happens is that wealth becomes more consolidated in fewer hands, which creates conflict between the upward ability and the lower ability. The ultimate are called the upward ability, and the populators are called the lower ability. Okay? So what's the difference? Ultimates just means the best of the best. Okay? Why do I have so much money? Because I'm better than you are. In fact, my entire family is better than you are. Populators is what we get the word populist from. So this is one ability, people like Julius Caesar, to take advantage of the discontent in order to launch their political careers. And what they do is they promise the peasants, the people, more opportunities, okay? To take the wealth of the rich and give it more to the poor. Okay, so there's a conflict that will rise in Rome after the end of
Debemos ir
conflict.
al
And this will
teletransportador.
last for centuries until the very end of the Roman Empire. Okay? In other words, the Roman war machine doesn't know how to stop. Even when it becomes an empire, all this aggressive military energy then translates into civil war. Okay? So the Romans aren't killing other people, they're killing each other. All right. This is a question from a YouTube viewer, and Lara Ford asks, why are wars good at maintaining equilibrium? Okay? Why is it that wars help reduce the problem of elite overproduction? Okay? And the reason why is, and I know it's hard for you guys to understand this, but wars are beneficial. All right? So let's look at the benefits of war.
At this point, we all probably know that drinking and driving is a big no-no. Want to add to that list, though, drinking and e-scootering, also a big no-no. This is a video that was recently posted to TikTok that went very viral. It shows these two girls on an e-scooter zooming down the street, narrowly missing one person, and then flying past another security camera going over a crosswalk. For some context, the primary woman on this scooter was a British backpacker by the name of Alicia Kemp. Last May, she was in Australia drinking with a friend and decided to take one of these e-scooters home, and Alicia ended up plowing into the back of a 51-year-old by the name of Fawn, who ended up passing away due to the injuries from the crash. Recently, this story has been back in the news again because Alicia was just served her sentence 4 years behind bars. This footage was released with it, and it shows that these two women definitely should not have been driving anything. Just remember, guys, even small motorized vehicles have the
because it's a thing of chance game, okay? They're not always dying. Worst case scenario, they become prostitutes, right? All right. So again, what happens is that after conflicts is destroyed, the Romans turn against each other. Okay, the first thing that happens is called the social wars.
Okay, guys, so I decided to get order
who
this
were part of the war and returned, they were given citizenship. They were not given citizenship, so they rebelled against the Roman state, and this led to civil war.
This is basically what the Island Boys are reduced to. I can't tell which one from which, but he definitely looks burnt out. They just sit on TikTok, and they just make a bunch of TikTok shop pages, like posts that have direct links to the items that they're promoting.
So, right now, this massive
Wait, since when did iPhone chargers look like this?
The nobility have all the land, they have slaves to work the land, the peasants are having problems feeding themselves in the cities, okay? So, now what do? So, this man is named Tiberius Gracchus, and he's a reformer, and he says basically, hey guys, here's what we're going to do. The rich have all this land. We're not going to touch that because we have to respect private property. But there's all this public land that's not being used. It belongs to the Roman state. There's all these poor people that want to work the land, but they have no land. So what we'll do is this. We'll take public land that no one's touching, okay? No one's using this stuff. Give it to the people to work to generate more wealth for our society. We have more tax revenue, the people are happier, and yeah, and no one gets hurt. Okay? Perfect solution, right? Because he proposed a solution, the nobility, governments, beat them to death, okay? Not only did they beat them to death, they beat them further to death as well. Okay? Why do they do this? Because nobility is, how dare you steal our public land from us? Okay? So nobility was like, this public land belongs to us, man. Because we are the state. Screw the people. Okay. All right. So of course, this leads to the rise of dictators. So there have been different dictators who come to power and they try to
If you hate
solve
spiders, especially this as
the
well,
first is
all will
Marius,
pass with very the backstory behind it.
Need to show you guys this footage.
Okay? And so that solution was really simple. We just kill
Need to show you guys this footage from this documentary.
guys, okay? Our problem isn't the inequality. The problem is we got too many people who can go through reform. So we just kill the reformers, okay? And then they kill the reformers. One of these reformers who got away was Julius Caesar, okay? So Julius Caesar, because his family was very wealthy, was able to escape.
I got you. Thought I was gonna run away. I don't run away. I face my problems.
Okay, to be honest, I cannot make you the richest person in the world, but thinking that just looks like a solar charger and a crappy Android is apps. This one right here allows you to download an offline map of the entire world. This one right here allows you to download all of Wikipedia. And this one's probably the coolest because it allows you to download an offline version of the AI model DeepSeek R1, which means you could ask it, hey, I have 6 car batteries, a bunch of wire, and a solar panel. How do I use them to get electricity? Or whatever. Basically, you have all the tools that you would need to rebuild society. Oh, you got a bit. You swallowed up, then I'll show you the same. But are you drunk? I was drinking last night. Are you drunk? No. We're gonna give you a PBT, okay? You got a 2166.
I was shooting to 4.1 and I just know that I couldn't do that was.
You're still drunk. Who drove here?
My friend.
Is this the guy here? Did he drive?
Sir Raymond. Sir Ronald Raymond. The left president.
Slow down.
President.
What? Hang on a second.
The 11th president to the United States president.
What's his name?
Sir Ronald Reagan.
You know, you got it. I'm sorry?
Thanks.
Pledge allegiance? Is that what you said? Do you swallow them?
Arvin. Nice to meet you. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Oh my. Definitely not expecting to see GTR when I was driving here.
So we all know that Jeffrey was eating pizza. But what's more interesting is that if you go to the Roman times and look at the old paintings of Saturn, Saturn is always depicted eating babies. Saturn, aka Kronos, Father Time, eating babies symbolizes time-consuming experimentation. And when you look on the North Pole of Saturn, you see the hexagram with a cube, and you find this cube pretty much in every major city. It's even on the Jews' hat, it's the black cube of Saturn. And all of these corporations look identical to Saturn. Maybe all of this has to do with something with Saturn and reincarnating souls back into the earth. Basically, a death cult. Let me know what you think.
Esto ocurrió en 1883. Ese día la Tierra emitió el señal.
Secret is empty.
Niño, ¿qué va a pasar contigo, niño?
Guys, so today we have this phenomenal looking Ebonite Bud Light Clear bowling ball. We're going to be fixing up, restoring.
My curly hair back. Leo! I'll send you a seat. Leo, right here. Leo Willinger. First year. Econ.
You're dealing with a narcissist, don't defend, don't engage, don't. What I want people to understand about
Is the Google curtain.
I was watching you with the K-pop thing. You were like, who's the K-pop?
Hit it, Joe.
Here are 3 signs.
Los monstruos son reales.
Buena suerte encontrando un fallo que alcance para todos. A menos que con su aspecto de gama. Dos pizzas, dos sides, todo por solo $19.99. Es un value mío. Es el combo perfecto. Solo ven. Siento que mi cerebro se rompió. Me siento a leer un fallo y a los 2 minutos el celular me llama. No necesidad. El otro día me encontré en programa mirando reels que ponían...
¡Moza la concha, men!
Siento que perdí la capacidad de procesar ideas profundas, el estudio jurídico zafo porque hablo bien, explico sus platos con claves, pero cuando tengo que sentarme a analizar y concentrarme, mi cabeza es un ruido blanco. Me da miedo que mi capacidad de atención se haya fumado para siempre. Bueno, estoy seguro de que en los pasillos de la facu está lleno de pibes como yo que fingen que está todo bien, pero tienen el cerebro educado por el algoritmo. Si puede darme una mano, no sé qué hacer, se agradecería. Bueno, Facu, obviamente después de ese mensaje le pregunté si yo podía hacer un video de esto, sin nombrarlo, lógicamente. Pero me parece que es una necesidad, o al menos una problemática, esta cuestión de tener una especie de cerebro oxidado. Porque, en definitiva, el problema que se plantea es eso, es decir, frente a las cosas complicadas, siento que el cerebro me juega una mala pasada. La realidad es que existe un concepto en inglés que se llama brain rot, algo así, no sé cómo tiene que pronuncia, pero es eso, que es el cerebro oxidado, y que está bueno que entiendas lo que te está pasando, si es que vos estás en una situación similar, y al mismo tiempo que puedas ver cómo hacer para sacar de esa situación y volver a estar al mando de tu cerebro. Voy a partir de la base de la siguiente. No, yo soy profesor de oratoria y de comunicación. Lo que pasa es que muchas veces, cuando nosotros tenemos que prepararnos
Aquí debe ser donde hacen los pies de manzana.
en público es una situación de desconfort. No es una situación de, bueno, listo, sigo haciendo lo mismo que hago. Entonces, esta es una situación que es sumamente normal. De todas formas, si vos crees que está del otro lado, como una patología, lo que sea, esta ayuda terapéutica, cuando soy terapeuta, entonces esta ayuda, pero lo voy a tratar y lo voy a abordar en el autoconocimiento. La importancia de conocerse a uno mismo para poder no solamente transmitir mejor la idea, porque la comunicación no es solamente de las puertas hacia afuera, sino también de las puertas hacia adentro, porque se abre acá, quiero citarlo lo más textual que pueda, se habla acá, subir, siento que me siento a leer un fallo y a los 2 minutos el celular me llama. Es una necesidad física. ¿Sí? Me largué a llorar, siento que perdí la capacidad de procesar ideas profundas. Y esto es una comunicación que uno se da internamente, porque él para escribirme esto tuvo que ya tener el pensamiento de, che, yo no puedo procesar más ideas profundas. Eso es algo que se dijo internamente para después decirlo en mí. Entonces la comunicación tiene esto, que yo siempre lo intento abordar también en este canal, es el autoconocimiento, es la autocomunicación, es decir, ¿qué me estoy comunicando a mí mismo para después salir al mundo? Y hay algo, como les decía recién, que es este concepto de cerebro oxidado que está muy en boga hoy en día. Es decir, que hay muchos adolescentes, hay mucha gente que le está pasando, que pasan días y días y días scrolleando y el escroleo constante, y hacer ejercicio ahora conmigo, tiene esta parte difícil, dura, de que nos demos cuenta de que vos no te acordás que Reels viste hoy. Te acordás de uno. Te acordás de que viste uno interesante, pero no sabés de qué es. Eso, en definitiva, causa una percepción de que estamos haciendo cosas. Vuelvo un poquito para acá y te explico un poquito del origen de todo esto y a dónde vamos a lograr o cómo voy a hacer para ayudarte, cuál va a ser la técnica que te voy a dar para que salgas de ahí, que es la misma técnica que doy a mis alumnos de OPI, que es mi formación online. Está cerrada, pero en definitiva lo quiero trasladar para que recuperes ese control.
¿Dónde está?
El tema es el
Ese
siguiente.
asqueroso, apestoso, inmundo
Nosotros
alemán.
fuimos criados para hacer un montón de cosas.
Ahora se fue.
El ser humano, desde hace
Pagará por
millones
lo
de
que
años,
hizo. Ya
está
no creo que pagará.
acostumbrado a hacer cosas, salir a buscar comidita, que el fueguito no se apague, esconderse de una presa, moverse a lugares mejores, ser una costumbre nómade, ¿no? Éramos tribus nómades, se desplazaban por el mundo, por ende el cerebro está muy acostumbrado a hacer muchas cosas. Hoy en día, el cerebro toma como hacer muchas cosas, a scrollear muchas cosas, porque la dopamina que nos genera ver tanto contenido es como si estuviésemos haciendo demasiadas cosas. Pero después de mirar contenido que encima es vacío y no nos deja nada, lo que se produce es un vacío. La desesperación de no entender, porque el cerebro te dice una cosa, una parte del cerebro te dice una cosa, y otra parte del cerebro te está diciendo no es nada.
¿Por qué estoy aquí?
Ese choque hace con que el cerebro se
La
oxide.
máquina de guerra del enemigo debe ser destruida.
¿Por qué? Porque el cuerpo en sí es antifrágil. ¿Y a qué me refiero con que es antifrágil? Este es un concepto de nuevo, que hay que entenderlo. Es muy importante el autoconocimiento. Yo siempre les digo lo mismo, soy insistente con esto. Lo que ustedes quieren hablar con el público, quieren hablar mal en público. Les tengo que dar las herramientas, tienen que aprender las herramientas, ponerlas a disposición y hacerlo. Y hacerlo 2 puntos, para después hacerlo 4 puntos. Por eso el lema de mi formación es hecho mejor que perfecto. Porque es frágil, es decir, si vos querés cuidar tus músculos, cuidar tu cuerpo,
Esto es lo que comen los niños occidentales.
pensando en, dame cuenta que compro una computadora, no la abro de la caja. Entonces, como no la abro de la caja, la estoy cuidando. Si vos tenés ese pensamiento de que mi cuerpo es una máquina, por ende, no la tengo que usar para cuidarla, estás 100% en lo opuesto. El cuerpo, por ejemplo, cuando vas al gimnasio, vos lo entrenás, rompes de muscular para lograr que el cuerpo se entrene, que el músculo se entrene, que el músculo crezca. Si vos querés que no te duelan las rodillas, hay casos excepcionales, qué sé yo, pero en general vos tenés que caminar, tenés que mantener el cuerpo activo. ¿Por qué el músculo funcionaría de una forma y el cerebro funcionaría de otra? Por eso yo rompo tanto los gigantes. De hecho, antes hicieron varias notas ahora, hace poquito, por el tema del club del libro. Abrí un club del libro gratuito para que la gente vuelva a leer, para que la gente se entusiasme con lecturas de nuevo. ¿Por qué? Porque una única forma que no creo. Haciendo cosas difíciles, haciendo cosas complicadas.
Me siento como un
Lo
sucio
que más sucede
capitalista.
con la atracción es que el cerebro apunta y empezamos como a pasar de un modo proactivo, que es decir, yo quiero hacer cosas por mí mismo, porque yo lo deseo, a un modo reactivo, es decir, estudio únicamente cuando tengo un parcial, me preparo únicamente cuando llegue, hablé de esto en el curso de hablar, hago las cosas únicamente cuando me llegan. No, campeón, vos te tenés que preparar antes de que las cosas lleguen. Porque ese es el modo proactivo de tu vida. Yo me preparo, lo hace en comunicación, hago OPI, hago la formación, ¿por qué? Porque en un futuro me puede llegar la oportunidad. No al revés. Porque de la otra forma yo estoy haciendo reacción frente a algo de fuera. ¿Sabés qué pasa con eso? De lo mismo poco que te está pasando. No te voy a responder, pero estoy pensando que sí. ¿Qué es lo que está pasando a vos? Es decir, tú estás esperando al examen para rendir, estás esperando para estudiar, estás esperando a que eso llegue para hacer algo. Y eso es producto de que tu cerebro está oxidado. ¿Por qué? Porque pasó a tener el control. Y hay una parte de tu cerebro que cree que está haciendo cosas. Hay otra parte de tu cerebro que sabe que no está haciendo nada. Porque internamente, no sé si a vos esto te pasó, a vos o a cualquier otra persona que esté mirando este video, que no sé si serán muchas, pocas, desconozco, que están del otro lado hasta este punto, si podés poner me gusta, una que le lleguemos a la gente que puede estar con este mismo quilombo, sí que te lo agradeceré un montón, y también que por favor que no se quiten. Pero, si vos, en algún momento de todo este proceso, estás sintiendo con que no tengo voluntad, déjame decirte algo. Vos no tenés que tener voluntad para todo. Hoy en día caímos un poco en la era de tengo que tener voluntad. Déjame decirte algo. Si vos crees que tenés ganas, o crees que tenés que tener ganas para hacer las cosas, nunca vas a hacer nada que te lleve a un lugar mejor en el que estás. Ni al gimnasio, ni comer mejor, ni estudiar algo que vos no sepas, ni tener más laburo, ni tener más responsabilidades, ni comprometerte con una pareja, ni nada que te lleve, si es que eso quieres que te ponga un lugar mejor, a un lugar mejor. ¿Por qué? Porque para todo se necesita esfuerzo. Y el cuerpo, sobre todo el cerebro, lo que menos quiere es que vos gastes, que vos quemes esfuerzo, porque lo que quiere es sobrevivir. Para sobrevivir, el cerebro considera que vos no tenés que gastar energía. Y es lo opuesto. Es exactamente lo opuesto. Y además de todo eso, uno empieza a creerse una especie de relato que se va contando a uno mismo de yo estoy roto, yo estoy oxidado, mi cerebro no sirve más. Y eso no es ni más ni menos que algo que vos considerás de vos mismo, ese es el diálogo interno que te estás planteando, y tenés que dejarlo de lado. Tenés que dejarlo de lado. Pero atención, no tenés que dejarlo de lado únicamente en los casos negativos, también en los positivos. Porque si vos, por ejemplo, comunicás desde la creencia de que sos un fenómeno, es muy probable que te equivoques. Y que te equivoques mucho. Vos lo que tenés que ser consciente es de lo que haces. Yo me preparé para este examen. Yo me preparé para este examen. Yo me preparé para ayudar a este tipo. Yo me preparé, yo hice. Ahí está. Yo soy. Yo hice lo suficiente. ¿Sí o no? Eso es bien raro que tiene que jugar. Hice todo lo posible para rendir este examen. Hice todo lo posible para presente. No, yo no soy, yo no me siento capaz de enfrentar no. ¿Vos hiciste lo necesario para enfrentarte esto? Ahí está la clave del pensamiento, que muchas veces altera la comunicación, por no decir el 99% de las cosas altera la comunicación directa con el otro. Pues, internamente esa comunicación que tenés se basa en lo que hiciste o en lo que crees o suponés que sos. Ay no, yo no sirvo para estas cosas. No. Eso es una respuesta cerebral que te está diciendo vos o no. Tenés que retomar el control de ese cerebro y tenés que dejar de ansiedad. Ese es el punto. Porque si no, vas a tener una especie de fragilidad interna, donde en realidad, como vos no sabés qué sos, como vos estás juzgándote negativamente todo el tiempo, dependés exclusivamente de lo que los demás digan de vos. Charla que tengo como alumno en la universidad de primer año. Nosotros cuando ponemos una nota, no estamos evaluándote, estamos evaluando el conocimiento que vos tenés de una determinada materia en un momento determinado. Un 4, un 3 o un 0 no te corresponde a vos, te corresponde a lo que yo considero que vos sabés de la materia. Si vos no sabés hacer esa diferencia, significa que es una crisis identitaria, donde cualquier persona o cualquier cosa externa te enjuicia y te identifican a vos.
Ese sabor es desconocido en Rusia.
Se los digo con el mayor amor que los tengo. Y les agradezco por estar acá, y les agradezco porque son videos que los ve mucha menos gente que se haga alguna boludez de algo propenso o lo que sea. Son videos difíciles, porque los hago mirarse de verdad. Así es como para mí se mejora la comunicación, mirándose a uno mismo. Cosas externas que no pueden generar un identidad, porque no sos una nota, vos sos lo que necesites llenar esa nota. Como explotar, puede estar, yo como profesor puedo tener un día, vos podés tener un día, podemos tener diferentes entendimientos, diferentes circunstancias. Yo se lo explico a esto en profundidad, pero no por ahí, es tenés que saber lo que hiciste para lograr determinado resultado. ¿Hiciste todo lo posible? Sí. ¿Salió bien? Fantástico. ¿Salió mal? Es una de las posibilidades. Ahora, tenés que hacerlo. Porque eso es lo que te cambia en el cerebro. Cuando vos empezás a hacer, lograste, Papu, decirme exactamente lo que te está pasando. Estás reducido por el teléfono, haciendo también hacer un alejamiento total de la dopamina. No me sale la palabra, una especie de depuración de dopamina. Quédate un fin de semana, aburrite y estudia cuando no sea necesario. Eso es la forma de cerebro que vos tenés que encontrar. Si algo que no sea necesario porque algo te está corriendo, porque si no entras en una mecánica donde tu cerebro únicamente hace porque existe un factor externo que se lo está pidiendo. Entonces siempre estamos corriendo atrás de la pelota. Agarrá vos, que no podés perderse por mí. Esto lo quiero entender por mí. Yo quiero mejorar esto por mí, no por otro, por el trabajo, por la facultad, por el estudio jurídico, por vos. Tenés que mostrar al cerebro que vos estás haciendo. Que vos lo hice tener una ruptura, porque empezás a comunicar desde ese lugar. Mirá, yo hice todo lo posible.
Creo que necesito una reanimación
Yo hice todo lo posible. Lo primero que ser consciente de que sos. Yo no puedo concentrarme. Yo estoy roto. Yo perdí la... No. Si querés un diagnóstico, busca un profesional.
Así es como se despiden los rusos.
Segundo, vos no sos algo en concreto. Nosotros estamos algo en concreto. La diferencia es yo soy abogado. Yo debería ser abogado. Yo estudié Derecho. Yo me recibí abogado. Pero yo no soy abogado. Ni siquiera en este momento estoy abogado. ¿Sentís la diferencia entre ser y estar? Yo estoy siendo un profe por YouTube. No sé por cuánto tiempo. Yo estoy en este momento hablando con conferencias. Yo estoy. ¿Sentís la diferencia?
Estaban aquí y ahora ya no están. Camaradas, compartan la munición conmigo.
Separemos los campos y al mismo tiempo aburrite. Pero profe, no puedo. Esa es mi cosa estúpida. La gente que paga una madura. Sé que cargo. Y ojo, no voy a ganar el teléfono. No sé qué hacer. No sé nada. Y aburrite. Te vas, dejas el teléfono y salís a caminar por el parque. Solcito. Tomá el control. Pero no tengo una maratón. No tenés que correr pensando en una maratón. Tenés que correr porque vos querés dominar y no querés que te así es como se lo digo en la comunicación. Vos mostrándole al cerebro, por ejemplo, cuando tenés miedo a hablar en público, cuando tenés miedo a traer una entrevista en vivo, no, fresco, está todo bien, todos los miedos que vos tengas, todas las cosas, está todo fantástico. Yo quiero correr. Yo me voy a correr. Yo voy a ir. No, pero sí, pero imagínate si no te toman, yo voy a hacer igual. Esa confrontación es la que te va a hacer de tu cabeza. Porque tu cabeza siempre te va a estar a otro lado, nunca te termina haciendo lo que te lleva a ser necesario. Pero haberte servido a vos, Paco, te agradezco de nuevo que me haya permitido contar tu caso. Si hay alguien que lo dejo, a lo sé, que te puedes servir, tomen el control. Eso es lo que está momento. Sepan que hicieron lo suficiente para lograr algo que puede tener. Por ustedes. Cuídense. No lo dije, pero tienen ganas de que un compañero de ustedes pueda avanzar. De todos los días, cuando el día por medio hacemos reflexiones y todo tu estilo, a veces nos corta, a veces nos explica, a veces no. Pero voy a estar acá en el interpretado, por si no están viviendo.
Every day feels the same. So Canada State Stadium, the one place you go to go places. So if I book my flight now, but I stay later, if no, I'm later. He's so sad.
nunca un ruso letal.
In this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly why regulating your nervous system is vital for reality creation. And it's not just in manifestation, it's also really, really important for you living your best life. And this is why it forms one of the three main pillars of the work that I do with my clients, who are typically 6 or 7 figure business owners, entrepreneurs, or leaders in the field. So before I go into teaching you exactly how to regulate your nervous system, let's first talk about how we experience this in the world. We exist in separate planes of existence. Now, there are more planes, but these are the great planes. So these are the only ones that this channel is concerned with. The spiritual plane and mental plane comes physically. And just like us, we have a spirit, mind, and body, and all of these things exist in the community of consciousness. So it's not like layers of space, it's like the bucket with a flower that goes to create. It's all here, all now. Now, the spiritual plane is infinite. This is where everything that is ever existed is already been created. And we get to choose which element of creation we want to experience with our mental action and mental plane. Without a directive from the mental of the spiritual plane, plus the universe reacts to our subconscious belief system and subconscious code.